Welcome everyone to this video. In this video we'll be looking at layer mask, and to practice layer mask we'll be doing two projects. It's gonna be a fun one, so let's just get right into it. So first we'll change the color of this dress. So you'll just think that we've already done how to change color in the previous video, but there is always, but most of the times there's a problem when we are changing the color of any object, and we're gonna encounter it right here. But we're gonna save the, we're gonna have the solution to this problem, which is layer mask. So first let's apply the hue and saturation adjustment layer. Hue and saturation, we want to encounter reds, so let's go to master and then reds. And now let's say I just want to change the color of this dress, so I'm just gonna move, and here you can see when I'm moving this, the skin's color is also changing because the skin also has the red tint in it. So this problem always comes up, that you want to change the color of a specific red colored object, but there are too many reds in your image, or not just reds but any color, and there are too many objects of the same color, but you just want to change the color of that one specific object. So now we're gonna encounter it. So I've just turned the color of this dress to purple, and now what's the solution? The solution is layer mask. So here you can see I've been always saying that just make an adjustment layer rather than going to image adjustments. So another reason to using adjustments layer is you always get a layer mask. So what is a layer mask? It is basically just, so first, before just learning what is layer mask, you just need to know one rule. In layer mask, black is equal to subtract and white is equal to add. So here you can see our layer mask is absolutely white. That means all the hue and saturation, that means all of that is showing on our image. But let's say I just get this paintbrush, and then I have black as my foreground color, and if you don't have black as your foreground color, you can just choose this. Just click on this and then click on this arrow, or just click on here and then drag this circle to black and then hit OK. So now we have black as our foreground color. And now if I just drag my mouse here and there, here you can see the dress starts to turn to red, which was its original color. So here you can see in this thumbnail, if I just hit Alt and then click on this thumbnail, I can see the mask. Here you can see I just painted black here, so that's why let's hit Alt again on the mask. So that's why where I have painted black, it has subtracted that portion of the layer from that area. So that is what basically layer masks are. So there's just one rule: white is equal to add and black is equal to subtract. So now let's just make our image white again and the layer mask white again, not the image. So how do we do that? Just click on the layer mask, increase your brush size. So you can increase your brush size by going up here to this arrow and then just adjusting the size according to your preferences, or you can just click on the right and the left bracket key. So the left bracket key reduces the size and the right bracket key increases the size. So just click on the right bracket key and make sure your hardness is on like a 90 to 85%, and opacity should be 100 and flow should be 100. And now let's just make the foreground color white. So I already have white as my background color. Here you can see, so I can just click on this arrow or just hit X. That is a keyboard shortcut. And let's say you have another color, like as foreground color you just have red. So like foreground color you have red, and then for the background color you have blue. So now you're saying like I don't have white or black, so you can just manually adjust it, or the shortcut key to it is D. So if you just hit D, the black will be your foreground color and white will be your background color. So now I'm gonna click on the mask and then hit D, and now currently we have white as our foreground color, and if white is your background color, just hit on this arrow or X because that's a shortcut key. And now let's just paint white on it. So now we have painted white, so that means on all the parts of the image that hue and saturation layer is going to show. And now let's decrease our size. Whoops. So now let's just decrease our size using the left bracket key, and then just choose the foreground color to be black, X, and then our foreground color is black. Now let's just paint on her head black, and here you can see it's changing to the original image because we're just commanding that hue and saturation layer should not be applied to this area, like the area that I'm painting black. So this is what layer masks are. So I'm just gonna fast forward while I'm painting, but you can take your sweet time. So I've painted black on all of the skin, on the hands, on the legs, and on the face. So you can see that the hue and saturation layer is not applying on that area. So that's wonderful, and let's just see what problem you might have faced here. So let's say you're just painting here, like I have the brush tool, and you just by mistake whoops. So what can you do now? It's easy. So it's very easy. Just make the foreground color white and paint the arm again. So whoops. So I'm just doing it messy, but you can just do it with a little bit more precision. So this was the first project, and in the second so this was the first project, and now we'll start with the second project. So now let's start with the second project. To start off with the second project, let's go to the type or the text tool. And I know we haven't done the text or the type tool, but in this video we'll just be covering the basics like the font, size, and the color. We'll dig into the details in the future lessons. So for now, let's go to the text tool, and I'm using Montserrat font, and if you want to use this exact font, link will be in the description below. And if you want to learn how to install a font in your PC, I have a video in my YouTube channel, and it will come up right about now on your screen on the top right corner. So if you want to check out, you can click on it. So I have this Montserrat font installed. I really like this font. I'll be using this a lot in this course. And I have, for the style, I have extra bold, and for the size I have like 660. You can choose the size according to your font. So you can just type here, or just drag these arrows like left and right, or you can just type here. So let's just type in 650, and then we have the color. So for this image we'll be using white because white will be visible on these colors. So now let's just click on the screen once, and now let's click, not click, just type our text. So mountains. Now let's go to the move tool and then move this text right here. So of course we have to rotate the text, so let's go to Control T, And now let's just rotate. So to rotate, here you can see we normally go just click on these like bubbles, you can say, or these squares, white squares. But if you just move away from them, here you can see the sign changes. So it's like a curved arrow, and if you move, you can see we can rotate anything. So let's just rotate. So I've rotated it to like about this, and now I can just move it to the position I want. I'll rotate it a little bit more, and then I'll just position it the way I want. But you will see that this part, the tails, you can see it has gone away from the mountains or not aligning with the mountains. So we want this stains, this part of the text, to be like this, like this is going to the top, that is going to the bottom, or like slanting way but the other way. So how can we do that? With lasso. So we have to make a quick selection. I told you to make quick selections we have to use lasso. So we're just gonna be making a selection and then copy, go to the move tool, deselect, and then paste. And now we have tails right here, but you will see that it is not in the text form. It turned into a picture or a raster image. So now we can go to this text. I'll go to the text tool, here you can see, and then I'm going to click on the text and delete this part of the word. And now I'm just going to go to the move tool, click on this stains, or just click on this layer, and then hit Ctrl T. Then I can first move and then rotate it the way I want. So let's just say this is looking great. So this much is gonna be okay. So now let's go to this first word, mount, and make a mask. So we just discussed white is equal to add and black is equal to subtract. So we want to subtract bits of this text. So first let's just select both of these text. So I'm just gonna hit shift or control and then click here on the second layer, and then turn down the opacity so we can see the boundaries of the mountains. So maybe about like 50 to 60%. How much that you want, it's up to you. Now let's click on the mask, not the text. Sometimes just people click on the text and then start painting. For example, I have this text right here, and I'm just gonna start painting, and you will see I'm just painting over this layer. So I don't want that. Just click on the mask, and now let's start painting. So I'm just gonna fast forward this process. So here you can see I just fast forward this process. So what I was doing, I was just painting over the parts of these letters that were overlapping the mountains. So it just gives the effect that this text is like before, like behind, not before, behind these mountains. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing with this, the tails. So I just click on this layer, just click on the mask, and let's just paint again. So fast forward time. So I've done this part. I masked out all of this, the part of the letters that were overlapping the mountain. So now it's giving like an illusion that the text is behind the mountains. So here you can see I missed some trees right here because I'm just showing you how to do these things, but you can take your sweet time and make this as beautiful or as precise as you want. So now I'm just gonna hold shift, click on this layer and make the opacity 200, and this is it. So now we have our project 2 done. So this was it for this video.